these exercises are going to show you what you can do to prepare yourself before traveling. Now, it goes without saying that obviously you want to check other lifestyle factors, like making sure you're well hydrated, you haven't drank too much alcohol before traveling, that you haven't eaten too much food either. You want to not be hungry, but you don't want to be so full of food that it's just going to sit and stagnate while you're traveling. So also check that you're maybe well rested, that you've had plenty of sleep the night before. So those things really kind of go without saying. Now, to prepare yourself for traveling, you want to make sure that you're creating lovely conditions for the most open, free flow of qi, of blood, and of lymph possible before you go into your traveling situation, whether that's sitting on a plane, driving a car, going on a ferry or a train, however you happen to be traveling, because usually travel, there's a bit of sitting still or standing still in queues involved. So looking down at your feet, standing with the feet shoulder width or hip width distance apart, toes facing forwards. Check that there's a little bend in the knees, the tailbone is moving down. So by doing that, you're creating a little bit more of a flat and an open lower back, and just lifting up in the lower abdomen, just very slightly, elevating a little bit in the rib cage, getting nice and tall, and then allowing the shoulders to drop down away from your ears, shaking out the arms, and tucking the chin back towards the throat. But as you do this, somebody had a really great description of this the other day and said this is often a misunderstood position. They were saying it's like a ball rolling in a bowl. So if you imagine the tip of your chin is the ball, and what it's doing is it's coming down into the dip of the bowl. So it's dipping down, and then it's rolling up the other side. So if I stand sideways on, rather than just tucking your chin back like this, what you want to do is tuck the chin back and then think of elevating up here. So the movement of the chin is actually in this kind of like a smiley face kind of movement. So you're moving the chin down, in, tucking in, and then up at the back. I hope that maybe gives you an idea of feeling that lovely length in the back of the neck. So to open everything up, we're going to start with the shoulders and just rolling the shoulders forwards, making circles, and just breathing normally using your abdominal breath. Breathing in, feeling the belly expand, breathing out, feeling the belly shrink and get smaller. And remember, Qigong is a combination of movement and breath and mind. So you're breathing using your abdominal breath, rolling the shoulders forwards, and in your mind's eye, think of the very center of your shoulder joints, that ball and socket joint being mobilized. And by opening up everything in this joint, allowing the flow of qi, of blood, of fluid into the area. And then change the direction. Keep breathing in and out through the nose, making really nice big circles, feeling the full range of that movement that's available to you. Obviously, don't go into any pain with any of this. Just go as far as you can with any of these shoulder movements. And you see that my arms stay very loose and relaxed, just dangling down. And then come into rest. And now lift the arms up so that the elbows are at right angles and at shoulder height, making loose fists with the hands. No tension in the fists though. Okay. Take a breath in now, and I want you to imagine you're doing a big yawn, breathing in through the nose, yawning, and opening out in the chest, moving the arms back, keeping them at shoulder level, and then breathing out through the nose and dropping the chin down to the chest, bringing the elbows together, feeling a lovely stretch around the upper back area. Breathing in, the mind is in the center of the chest, expanding outwards along the arms to the elbows, and then breathing out, elbows together, tucking the chin in to the chest, feeling that lovely stretch, mind along the upper back, shoulder area. Breathing in. And as you elevate and stretch here, think of lifting here in the sternum area, in the rib cage. And this will cause an elongation between the sternum and the belly button, giving a bit more space for your digestive organs, which remember can often be a little bit crunched when we're traveling and seated in a position. Breathing out. 3 more. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Lifting, creating space in the abdomen as well as the chest here. Breathing out, creating space between the shoulder blades in the upper back. Breathing in. Breathing out. 1 more. Breathing in. Breathing out. And now allow the arms just to float back down by your sides. So what I found when I was driving back from the UK to Ireland 24 hours ago was that because I was driving for a long period of time, I got quite tight, not just in my shoulders, but also in my lower back and my hip area as well. So the next thing I'd like us to do now is just practice, and if you need something to hold on to for a little bit of balance, because we're going to stand on one leg, we're going to start to just lift the legs and do a little rotation of the hip. So you can keep the arms by the side. You may want to move them out a little bit if that helps you with your balance. Just shifting the weight onto one side, lift the leg only as far as you can go, and then rotate it outwards and place it back down. And then shift to the other side. Lifting first, and then very slowly move the leg out to the side and back down. So for anyone with lower back or hip issues, you can do very small movements with this. It's only enough to create a little bit of openness and feel that lovely extension in the hip area. So breathing in as you lift the leg up. Breathing out, gently placing the leg down. And in your mind's eye, again, similarly to the shoulders, thinking of the center of the hip joint and all that lovely chi and blood and fluid coming into the joint to nourish and energize the area. And when an area is more nourished and energized, whoa, then it doesn't feel quite so tight and stiff. So for those of you with any difficulties with balance, you may want to do this standing next to a table or holding onto a really sturdy back of a chair. Do the movement nice and slowly so that you don't injure anything. And 1 more. Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to do is just do some work on mobilizing the thighs at the front, creating a little bit more circulation in this area, but also working on the calves and the Achilles at the back. So we're going to very gently do some squats. So for this exercise, you can place your hands either on the tops of the thighs, or if you're a little bit more flexible, on the tops of the knees. For anyone with osteoporosis or issues with high blood pressure, dizziness, vertigo, then please don't let your head drop down and please don't round in the spine. So you don't have to bend very far with this. So just showing you from the front, I'm going to take a breath in. And then as I breathe out, it's like I'm sitting down. So I keep the knees parallel, facing towards the front and keeping the heels on the ground. So what I'm feeling as I do this is a lot of kind of strength here, a lot of a bit of a pull here. I'm working the thighs, but also in the calves and the Achilles, I can feel that lovely stretch going into the heels and then coming up. So breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, coming back up, and then breathing out, sitting down. And I'll show you from the side for the next one. coming up. So I'll just turn to the side, stay as you are. So I'm breathing in, I'm looking straight ahead, my knees are pointing straight ahead, and then as I sit down, I keep a straight back. I'm not rounding in the back, I'm simply bending in the knees, keeping looking straight ahead, not rounding in the neck, as though I'm sitting down. And you see that my heels are on the ground. So I'm feeling that lovely stretch into the calves and also in the thighs here. And breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. So only go as far as you need to feel a little bit of a stretch. Remember, with Qigong, we're simply creating the conditions for open and free flow of Qi. And as soon as you feel a little stretch, then you've done that. So you don't need to push things too far. 2 more. And your mind here is in the thighs and then going into the back of the calves, down into the heels. And relax. So the last thing now, just to mobilize into the ankle joints, place one foot, the ball of the foot on the ground with the heel lifted, and very slowly circle the ankle in a really nice relaxed way, keeping the ball of the foot in contact with the ground, breathing using your normal abdominal breath. And again, in your mind's eye, visualize the insides of your ankle joints, bringing Qi and blood and fluid to those areas, and then change the direction. And then change to the other foot, breathing in and out through the nose, using your abdominal breath. Keep smiling. And then changing direction. Okay. And then just shaking out the arms, shaking out the legs. So you see, with that simple little routine, working down from the shoulders, upper back, that lifting the digestive organs, mobilizing around the hips and the lower back, thighs, knees, down into the calves, and then into the ankles, that we've created a lovely openness throughout all of the joints before we travel. So we've given ourselves the best possible start in terms of circulation.